Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be the first video that I'm filming specifically for IGTV or Instagram TV. I'll probably put it up elsewhere, but I posted up on Instagram some questions that viewers want me to answer. This format right now, as of when I'm filming this, is limited to 10 minutes, so we're going to try to do that here. And I just posted up some questions. Anything really is game that I haven't done or haven't covered previously in my mail call videos. So first up is going to be 6.5 Creedmoor. Does it really matter who builds it? Seems like regardless if you have a Palmetto State Armory, Aero Precision, or other brand, they all seem to shoot really well. Is this one of those times where the cartridge is that's written incorrectly? What I think he means is the cartridge that good and you don't need to have a high quality rifle? I think that's what he means. The answer to that is that 6.5 is inherently a very accurate cartridge. It's also a very accurate cartridge at distance. And what I mean by that is it bucks the wind very well. And also it has a good BC, so it doesn't drop a lot relative to other cartridges in its class. So yes, it is an inherently accurate cartridge, that is for sure. However, I will tell you that regardless of, whatever ammo you have, if you have a junky barrel, it's not going to shoot well. So you do need to have a quality manufacturer. That said, his examples of Palmetto State Armory and Aero Precision, in my experience, those rifles tend to shoot pretty darn well. So those ones are probably pretty good. There's probably other good ones out there. Going on. To next question, how is your Howa Soviet build coming along? So for those that don't follow me on Facebook and Instagram, which I guess is probably no one if you're watching this on Instagram, I have a Howa build that I did. You guys probably haven't seen it complete yet, but it's in 7.62 by 3.9. It's a bolt gun with a MDT exclusive Brownells chassis. It's pretty sweet. And that one, he says, how's it coming along? It's coming along great. It's done. I have not shot it yet, though, so it has not had a range trip yet. Next question, what's my take on 6.5 Grendel? 6.5 Grendel, I love it. I have a rifle in 6.5 Grendel that you guys have actually seen in some optic testing that I've done. It is a LaRue rifle. If you guys ever see me shooting a LaRue rifle, that's chambered in 6.5 Grendel. It's great. The big thing that's huge about 6.5 Grendel is that, of course, it's a small frame AR cartridge, and it gives you increased power pretty much across the board over 5.56. Even some of the heavier grain loads, it's still going to give you more power pretty much in every instance that I can think of off the top of my head. It also has has been adopted rather by some forces in Russia, and what's the benefit of that is that we have Wolf that comes in from time to time, the steel case stuff for it. So I've seen that stuff as low as like 26 cents a round. Again, if you guys follow me on Facebook, you've probably seen me posting it there. And that's huge. That's huge, if you guys want to get out and practice with it. And in terms of hunting with the small frame AR, in my opinion, it's one of the better calibers out there. Obviously, the higher end loads are going to be a little bit more accurate, but my LaRue, it shoots that Wolf consistently at 2 MOA and shoots other loads obviously at MOA accuracy, some of the nicer stuff. So it's definitely a good cartridge, and it has a good ballistic coefficient, and it has some power for a small frame AR. So it's a good cartridge. Again, the beauty of that one is that the cheap ammo is available for it, in my opinion. Have I been testing the Surefire Masterfire holster? Yes, if you guys watch my XH35 video, you guys would see it in there. I have been testing it. Possible video on it at some point. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on it because I kind of covered it in that video. One thing that I didn't bring up in that video that I should have, just time sometimes, as I'm looking at my watch, sometimes prohibits it. The thing that's interesting, I guess you could say, about that holster is that it's designed to be retained, or rather have retention based on the light. So with that, it doesn't always completely cover the trigger guard. So I know that's an issue for some guys with certain guns. So it's just something to be aware of. Many of the guns out there with the XH35 or the coming XH30 will be covered in terms of the entire trigger guard. It just depends on the gun, obviously. So that is sort of what it is, if you will. What is better for home defense, handgun or rifle? That's a big topic. That's like a 20-minute video. And actually, as I'm filming this in about 2 weeks, I'm going to be headed down to Blackstone in Charlotte. And I'm kind of like hosting an event there. And that's one of the things I'm going to be talking or speaking on. And I plan on recording that. So hopefully I will get into that there in that video. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel for that one, guys. If I would sell out to one gun company, who would it be and why? I don't know what you mean by sell out. I guess the way I would take that is, um, I don't know, how would I take that? The way I'm going to interpret that is if I could put my name, sort of my brand, my name, my reputation behind one gun company, who would it be and why? My answer to that is BCM. I just realized as I'm looking at my computer, I can see my reflection, and I'm wearing a BCM hat. That is not planned. But the answer to that would be BCM. And the reason is, obviously, they make very high quality rifles and accessories, and they do a lot of quality control. Some of the things I've seen sort of behind the scenes in terms of like the way they do their staking on their bull carrier group, the amount of money they spent to make sure that that is always done right is kind of silly. They do just a ton of things right. They also are very pro Second Amendment. You're never going to hear Paul, their owner, say anything negative in terms of the rights of the American citizens. And also, they've backed that up monetarily. So what I mean by that is places where citizens' rights are infringed upon by their government, BCM, generally speaking, won't sell rifles there. So they've obviously lost a lot of money because government contracts are lucrative because of their stance there. And I think that's important. It's important to me. I can tell you that much. BCM's not a sponsor of the channel or anything. They don't pay me to say anything good about them, but that would be who I think of off the top of my head. They're just a company. And another good thing, after the shooting in 2013, Newtown, they also didn't accept inferior parts. So a lot of companies basically reduced their QC and took in some subpar components in order to get rifles out because the profit margins were so huge during that time. Anybody who was buying rifles around back then knows what I'm talking about. BCM literally just didn't put rifles out. I believe the example that I heard from one of their reps was that they didn't have upper receivers and they couldn't get their upper receivers that were made to their specs correctly. And I mean, they probably lost hundreds of thousands of dollars by not taking in what they would consider to be a subpar upper receiver. So just a company that stands behind the crap, which is good, seems to have good value. Next question is V7 barrel. Really that much better than BCM 16-inch lightweight barrel. V7, I've done a video on the V7, one of the V7 barrels. They make a bunch of them, and they're expensive, but they're nice. They do a lot of like hand polishing type of work to the chamber and stuff like that. It's kind of like, obviously takes time, and time for labor costs money, and there's a lot of interesting things that go into the V7 barrels. They definitely use quality components, but as does BCM in this example, which this viewer asked, really that much better. I mean, it depends, I guess, how you're quantifying it. Both of them are going to be very high quality barrels, no doubt about it. And for some folks, the extra, $200 on a V7 barrel versus a BCM barrel isn't a big deal. For some folks, it's huge, and they don't want to spend more than $500 on a rifle, right? So it depends what you want, depends who you are, and depends how important whatever the feature set difference is to you. So there's really no right answer here. I'm going to have to close it out time-wise, guys, due to the Instagram format here on this next one. Do I recommend using the ACSS reticle on 0? Okay, this is written wrong, but I think what he means is, do you recommend using the ACSS reticle at 1 power, or just go with a red dot and a 65 MOA circle? I think that's what he means. So like in this example, I guess we're going to go with ACSS 1-6, let's say, versus an EOTech. Let's drop EOTech. Let's pretend it's not an EOTech. Let's something that can stay on, because that's a big deal for me, as you guys who have watched my ARs for home defense video know. So The answer is it depends, right? So if your rifle is a dedicated home defense rifle, that is the role of the gun, then that, in my opinion, trumps every other use that you may ever use it for. If you're going to go to the range with it occasionally, but its primary role is sitting by your bed, and when you hear a bump in the night, that's the thing you're grabbing, my opinion, get a red dot. The low power variable optic scopes absolutely can perform that role and can perform it well. In my experience, in my opinion, is that red dots are still faster up close, you know, from the distance me to the camera, which is what, 6 feet at this point. The red dot is still superior. How much it really matters at that distance, who knows? Can the 1.6 do it? Yes, it can do it very well. But the red dot is still superior, in my opinion, as long as you can leave it on. The beauty of a 1:6, like ACSS reticle, for example, on the primary arm scopes, is that they're etched reticles, so they're always on. If you hit your light, even if your battery's dead in your scope, you're going to see that reticle. With a red dot, like something like an aim point, a Trijicon MRO, that reticle, or rather the red dot, can be on for, you know, 2 to 5 years. So change your battery out once a year on your primary home defense rifle, leave it on. It's always there when you need it, because you don't know in that situation if you're going to be afforded the time to turn it on. The criminals get a vote, right? That's what we have to remember. Just like in war, the enemy gets a vote. In this case, the criminal gets a vote. So I recommend a red dot if that is the primary role of the rifle, is home defense. If it's just an all-around rifle, well, then we're talking about something different. With time, we're going to have to close it out, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following me here on IGTV and anywhere else that I put this video up. I appreciate it. I really do, guys. This has been an awesome run, and hope it keeps going. We're going to lose the light, and I'm probably over time. All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.